those people and see what's possible. And then I've also mentored people just coming in. So having that opportunity to talk to people I never would have met otherwise. It's not because I didn't know someone, it's because I don't even live near them to know someone. I would never run into them, right?
It has allowed us to bring people forward, and especially for CEOs, I will say, if you are the head of a company, you have to start building your thought leadership. Like, you want to write a book, you want to be known for something, you want to get your company on the mark, like you have to start sharing. People want to hear, like, what was your story? How did you get to where you are? You can then run in some pretty big CEO circles. You want some seed funding for your company, whatever it is. I mean, it is out there to be had, but you have to put yourself out there. And that does mean, you know, taking 10 or 15 minutes a day. We call it like toilet talk sometimes. If you're, most of the time people bring this with them to the bathroom. Like, you can be doing it.
Studies on the germs too on the phones. Yes,
right,
we won't
right.
bring
While
those up though. Yeah.
While you're sitting there doing it, we would just please don't outsource your thought leadership. It is, you want to be building your authentic brand. So yeah,
it's the image you just left me with. I know it's true. Everybody's going to be, it's like, don't picture your community and their audience in their underwear. Now you can picture your community in the bathroom. But no, that's okay. That's perfectly okay, because it's true. It's true. And we're here to talk about true things. So I'm laughing, trust me. So poor Celeste, she's like, why did I come on this podcast?
No, you're
this crazy woman. I know. So you do education, you do training, you do consulting. And we talked about you help them build that community with a repeatable process, and you have like a 3-prong approach to that. So without giving it all away, all the magic sauce away, tell me what you guys do to help people and why they should, you know, call you, why I would be more than happy to refer someone to you or partner with you. And by the way, I met you guys on a social platform for business, right? Not LinkedIn, but I could have. So tell me how you approach that and help highlight it again for me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So they can understand.
So typically, if we look at it in 3 parts, we have a 3x2 framework. It really comes from, we'll call it the first word, positioning. So you need to position yourself, optimize your profile, position yourself as an expert in your space, whatever that is. You know, you're in a junior accounting role. Will you still do that role every single day, right, to a CEO? So your positioning, we need to get that down. So that is really the first bucket. And then we move into your community, right? This audience building. Who do we want in our community? Who do we want to talk to, learn from, interact with, connect with? But how do I find those people? So that is the second area that we work on, is this community building using hashtags, groups, events. I mean, the laundry list can go down and down, keywords. And then we look at content and engagement. So it's really that, all right, we've built it. Now we're building up our audience and community, and we start putting ourselves out there, engaging with insights to individuals, creating content, even if it sucks, putting ourselves out there, so that we can start to get in the conversation and people can see who we are. So those 3 pillars really are in place. If businesses come to us and say, hey, I need a lead generation system, that is not a business that we work with. We truly feel like, yes, you can send automated emails and all of that, which I'm sure you help customers like find solutions for, but you can't outsource, or there's no shortcut, right?
I'm actually not a big fan of some of that automated, because you're not building any relationship first.
Correct.
You know, I'm like, don't just come at me with, hey, I saw that you do this and we do this. I don't even answer those. And so I think a lot of people are getting numb to that. So I think it's got its place. I think Sales Navigator is awesome. I think a lot of them are great, but you have to do it right. That's all I'm going to say.
Great.
Yes.
So we really start with those buckets, obviously can drill down based on a skill level, but those are what we feel like is important. Again, we don't want to send people back to blank websites. We have to build that foundation and then slowly work on building a community, and then start to put ourselves out there at any level in the company. And again, that could be once a week, it could be 5 days a week, just to start building that. So that's how we structure our framework, and really from an authentic approach. And the more visible people can get and success stories they have, we love sharing that as well and making an impact.
This has been a very enlightening conversation because, as you said, even though I'm in marketing and digital marketing, I did not know some of these facts. And I know a lot about a lot, but it's an overview of the entire social media world, the total marketing world. And when you dig down into specializations like LinkedIn, you're going to see things that I won't know much more specifically. So this has been really interesting, and I'm going to need that name of that website when we're done so I can go look at those links.
Yep, I will shoot that over to you. And again, when we look at marketing, a lot of companies, as we talked about, that's the first thing to go. And unfortunately, we are, truncating what could be for future. If we want to build and talk to customers and build brand loyalty, we have to keep putting ourselves out there. We can't just exist in the day-to-day of keeping up with our customers. That's not building long-term. So this, LinkedIn is like one little sliver of the pie where it kind of all fits together. So I think, your services obviously complement individuals then having a LinkedIn strategy and then coming back to you and saying like, well, what are we going to talk about? Like, what are those marketing pillars that we talk about? That all needs to come together. So sometimes can get overwhelmed without realizing if we just start, it then builds and it builds and it builds.
Right. Progress, not perfection. Absolutely. Very, very important. And, even LinkedIn is starting to make it easier because I used to comment on someone, put a hashtag so that it came up in what people are looking for me. It had to be relevant. I wasn't just throwing out a smiley face and then a hashtag for me. I would say something and I would talk about how it's important because it was. And then I'd have to go back and share it and copy it and paste or write something different. Now you comment and it says, would you like to turn this into a post? Why, yes, I would, LinkedIn. Thank you very much for saving me that step. So they're completely aware of your time and what they need to do to help you get into their platform and use it correctly. Lots of tutorials
and something else. Yeah. LinkedIn was purchased by Microsoft for $26.2 billion. So it is not going away. Enhancements continue to come. LinkedIn drop-in audio has been released in a beta version to some content creators. So, you want to host a podcast, like you may take your podcast on LinkedIn when it becomes available because you can invite 1,000 people to it and you could have a running podcast every single week that you don't necessarily have to pay someone to produce. You can start having, events are huge. I do an event once a week where I'm doing basically a presentation on what is possible on LinkedIn. I can invite 1,000 people a week to come to that. You want to have a showroom. There's so many things that you can do in an online space. It's just learning how to do it and, making that as part of or having someone, who is up and coming in the company say, hey, we want you to spearhead this. Here's full reign, like go for it. Let's see what happens. And they can become the evangelist that then get somebody else on board. But it really does have to come from that top leadership buy-in.
Yes. Well, that's true of all marketing because, there's just, we're the misunderstood child sometimes, and that's where the education comes in. So I think this is wonderful that we're showing people here in this podcast how they can take LinkedIn, make it part of their marketing and their sales, get a very obvious return because you can trace back exactly where that person came from and what conversations and posts led to it. And when you can do that, that shows exactly how important all this is. And wouldn't you like to just try it for a few days and talk to them about getting it started and see if you could get that $1 million job or even that few $100 job, whatever your, audience is, your community wants, and prove it to yourself. Why are you holding yourself back? Don't be afraid of the unknown, or you wouldn't have started a business, or you wouldn't be a CEO right now. You just wouldn't. So this is awesome information. Love it. How do they get a hold of you? How do they go hire you?
So tlrconsultinggroup.com is our website. I can be found on LinkedIn, Celeste Burke, Celeste at tlrconsultinggroup.com. And we can talk about, like I said, we typically look at the size of the company, what your needs are, and then discuss what that path is. Some do a workshop and they're great. Others need that ongoing reinforcement. And then some hire us on a fractional basis of hey, this is probably going to be 6 to 9 months, right? We have a lot of people we need to train. Let's look at a longer term commitment. Plus, we know they need it over and over and over and over again. So we'll come in on a fractional basis and basically be like on the training team, support staff for a set bit. But always happy to work. We typically then work with the senior leadership as an aside, just because we realize they need to be the driving force behind most companies, and a lot of them, some light bulb moments and them realizing, hey, this can really change and shape our business. So we're all in.
Yeah, I think I need to bring you into workshop for every company. And so we're gonna bring you guys. So that's fun. So this is fantastic stuff. I learned something. I think that everybody listening got a lot of value out of this, and I'm so glad you came back. Well, your company came back. First, I got Trevor. Now I got you. So I got everybody, and we will. Hold on, my connection just got unstable. We will definitely be talking again. I think there's a lot of value here in doing something together again. So let's sign off here with everybody. Go look at your LinkedIn page and see what's on it. When was the last time you touched it, and how many do you have? Like me, I had to go find that. Yeah.
And I will send you that link again. It's public knowledge, so happy to share. The more statistics we share, again, we're in the business to help businesses grow and prosper. So if we can help each other and cross refer, absolutely happy to do that as well. But we always say, like, you're literally one connection away from, the next insert that thing here. So looking forward to seeing everybody on the LinkedIn space, and appreciate your time today. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
You too. And everybody go look at Celeste LinkedIn, because I'm sure it's awesome.
Boy. Yes.
Better go make sure. I know it's awesome because I already looked at it. All right. Thank you so much.
Take care. All right.
Whew, another great episode, another great conversation. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. And I hope we brought some value, a smile, and an aha moment to you with this episode. If you head over to my website, lizacivicmarketing.com, you can also join me at my next workshop, How to Make Your Marketing Do More in Less Time, geared toward six-figure business owners, or those who want to show up higher in Google results and get more marketing bang for their buck. Come find out how, plus tips and tricks on making your marketing more Google friendly in this workshop. You can register at lizacivicmarketing.com or via our social media links. See you next time.
You've been listening to Marketing Myths and Magic, part of the Xvadio Podcast Network. You can catch this podcast as well as the rest of the network at xvadio.com/podcasts, as well as the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, YouTube, and wherever you find podcasts.